A health savings account is one of my favorite secret weapons out there to grow a measly $3,550 one-year contribution into a $27,000 triple tax-free lump sum of money. And all you have to pretty much do is make one change that I'll mention later in this video, then sit back and literally twiddle your thumbs. And if you don't have thumbs, then you can just twiddle your freaking toes. We can call you toe twiddler. But there are a few things that you need to watch out for when using an HSA. So in this video, I'm going to go through some of the pitfalls and mistakes that I see way too many people make with a health savings account that basically wipes out all of the benefits from using one. I'll also share some of my HSA pro tips throughout this video that I am 100% sure will benefit you. Hey, I'm Jarrad with 2 A's and 2 R's, and over here we like to talk about investing and financial independence. If you get some value from this video, then please do me a huge favor and Hulk smash that thumbs up button. My dogs Molly and Cooper would greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions throughout this video, then please leave them down in the comments below and I will do my best to answer every single one of them for you. An HSA isn't all fun and games because you have to be enrolled into a high deductible health plan, aka an HDHP, to be able to contribute to one. I know it sounds strange, but yes, I am going to try to talk you out of an HSA for a minute because I have a conscience and it's just the right thing to do. If you have medical expenses while enrolled in a high deductible health plan, then it's most likely going to cost you more money up front compared to if you just enrolled in a regular health plan. It of course says it in the name, high deductible health plan, but I think it's important to specifically point that out. With an HDHP, your monthly premiums are going to naturally be lower, but if you have any medical expenses throughout the year, then it's going to take a little bit more money out of your pocket before you reach the deductible and your coverage kicks in. This isn't a reason to completely avoid an HSA altogether or to freak you out, but it's something to keep in mind. If you're expecting any large medical expenses anytime soon, then you might want to avoid an HSA until that's out of the way. The younger you are, the healthier you most likely are, so that's the time to really take advantage of an HSA. But let's not sugarcoat this whole thing though. Now, the health nut in me is just going to come out and say it. If a lot of your current medical conditions or potential future medical conditions could be avoided or reduced by implementing a more healthy lifestyle today, then that's what you should start working on. The more unhealthy habits that you have in your life, the higher your future medical costs are going to be. And of course, the more unpredictable they become. Nutrition, sleep, stress management, and physical exercise. Now those are the 4 pillars that I'm personally always working on and refining to help reduce my medical expenses and hopefully live a lot longer. Get those 4 pillars in order, then you can feel more comfortable getting a high deductible health plan so that you can actually start contributing to an HSA instead of being freaked out by it to the point of never being able to take advantage of one. I also need to point out that an HSA and FSA are completely different. I received an insane amount of questions about this on my last HSA video, so I can tell that there's a lot of confusion around this. With an HSA, you don't have a time limit as to when you have to spend money from the account, but with an FSA, you have to use the money you contributed by the end of the year, and if you don't, then you lose the money. You're essentially forced to go buy a whole bunch of medical stuff that you might not need at that point in time or any time in the near future. Let's be honest, you can only fill your cabinet up with so many Band-Aids, peroxide, and Tylenol. You also cannot grow your FSA money like you can with an HSA, but we'll cover that in just a minute. Always double check to make sure that the health plan you're signing up for is HSA eligible. I would hate to see you get stuck with an FSA for a year thinking that you were going to be eligible for an FSA. I've had more people than I can count on both my hands and toes combined tell me that they contributed to their HSA, but they missed the most important step, and that's actually investing their HSA money. The Employee Benefits Research Institution even came out with a report in 2021 about how only 5% of HSA accounts that have been open for 1 year are investing their money. Yes, the amount of HSA accounts that are investing increases as time goes on, but it only tops out at 20% of accounts at the 15-year mark. None of these people were doing anything wrong either. They just weren't told that investing your HSA money was even possible. Growing that $3,550 one-year contribution into $27,000 can only happen if you choose to invest the money within your health savings account. account. Every HSA provider should give you the opportunity to invest your money, but if they don't and you want to, then transfer your money out of there as soon as possible. I'll give you my 2 HSA provider recommendations in just a minute. The power of investing your HSA money is absolutely off the charts. Now, I'm a weirdo who prefers to go all in on investing 100% of my HSA money so that I can turn it into a $395,000 tax-free investment account. But if you're someone who isn't comfortable doing that, then it's not a big deal at all. You can always have a rule for yourself to invest, say, half the money and leave the other half as cash in case you want to spend it on medical expenses. Heck, even if you don't want to invest any of the money, an HSA, to be honest with you, is still beneficial from a tax savings perspective. But no matter what you do with your HSA money, you at least want to make sure that the provider you're using isn't charging you any fees to use them. The nice thing about an HSA is that you don't have to stay with the provider that your employer chooses for you. Here's the thing, all of our employers choose an initial HSA provider that they want to work with. It could be Health Equity, HSA Bank, Optum, Bend, the HSA Authority, Fidelity, Lively, or any of the many more that are out there. For example, my employer chooses to use Health Equity. So every month, my employer will take my HSA contribution from each paycheck, then deposit the money into a Health Equity account. The problem that I personally have with Health Equity, and you might have the same problem with your HSA provider, is threefold. Number one, they force me to leave at least $1,000 uninvested at all times. Now, for a guy who wants to invest 100% of his money, that's extremely annoying, especially because it's my money and I really don't like them trying to tell me what to do with my money. Number two, they charge me a 0.03% fee every single month on the money that I have invested. Now, let me be clear so I don't sound like a complete a-hole. 0.03% is a very low and reasonable fee, but if I don't have to pay it, then I don't want to pay it. And number three, they have very limited options when it comes to what I can invest my money into. The good news is that once the money is in the HSA account that your employer chooses, you're able to transfer the money out of that account at any point in time and into one with any provider that you want. The 2 HSA providers that I always recommend are Lively and Fidelity. Now, they both charge 0 fees, they allow you to invest all of your money, and the investment options you have available to you are endless. Fidelity is a brokerage account, so you use them to directly invest your HSA money. But Lively has partnered with TD Ameritrade, so once your HSA money is in your Lively account, you can easily transfer it into a TD Ameritrade brokerage account. I'll have a link to check them both out down in the description. Full disclosure, I personally use Lively. I transfer all of my HSA money from Health Equity to a Lively account every single month so that I can invest it. One more thing to mention, the Lively link is an affiliate link, which helps support myself and of course my dog Molly at no extra cost to you, but if you prefer Fidelity instead, by all means, open up an HSA account with them. Real quick, at the end of this video, above my head and down in the description, I will link up another HSA video that I made where I go through even more HSA hacks and ways to maximize the account. There's a lot more that I can't add in here because I don't want this to end up being a 40-minute video, so go check that out after this one. But whether you plan to use an HSA as an investment account or as a way to pay for medical expenses when they come up, you have to keep track of the money that you spend on medical costs. The receipts from those expenses should essentially be looked at as dollar bills because they basically are. This could potentially burn you big time if we get to some point in the future and you're ready to withdraw money from your HSA account for an expense that you had 5+ years ago. If you don't have a paper trail to prove that you actually spent money on medical costs that align with the money that you're withdrawing, then I would recommend thinking twice before taking that money out of your health savings account. All it takes is for the IRS to audit you one time, see that you withdrew money from your HSA, then ask you for the receipts to show proof. If you don't have this proof, then have fun with whatever fines they impose on you. I actually know a guy who got in trouble with this. He went to Walgreens and paid for his prescription with HSA money, but he also threw in a couple candy bars in there as well. He of course got caught and had to pay a fine. Saving your receipts and tracking it all is not only going to save you from this potential headache, but it's also going to give you a way to actually know how much you can feel comfortable withdrawing from your HSA account in the future. Plus, if you're using an HSA as an investment account and plan on withdrawing the money in 20 years, then how the heck are you going to remember what you've spent over that period of time? I'd argue that it's pretty much impossible. Sometimes your HSA provider will keep track of all this for you, but in my opinion, that is just not good enough. I would go as far as saying that you should track all of this on your own outside of your HSA provider. Not because they're doing something wrong or nefarious, but because the more that you rely on them to keep track of all this, the harder it is for you to switch providers at some point in the future if you eventually become dissatisfied with them. Let me break down my foolproof process of how I track my medical expenses so that I'm able to fully capitalize on the benefits of a health savings account. This should help you implement the same strategy into your life. All you need are 4 things. Number 1, some sort of free online storage like Google Drive. Number 2, a spreadsheet like Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel. Number 3, a phone with a camera or some way to take a picture of the receipt. And number 4, an internet connection. Now, every time that you have a medical expense, you'll take a quick picture, then upload it to the cloud storage location of your choice. I personally have 2 different folders to help me organize everything. The first one is called To Be Paid Out, and the other is called Paid Out. For the expenses where I haven't cashed them in yet, I'll put the receipts in the To Be Paid Out folder. When I eventually cash out that receipt amount, I'll move it to the Paid Out folder. That way, I always have a paper trail in case the IRS wants to audit me a couple years after I officially take ownership of that medical expense money. To help keep track of the hundreds of receipts that I'll eventually cash in on, I need to name it in a way that's going to be easiest to filter through in 20 plus years when I start withdrawing the money. The way I do that is by naming each file by the dollar amount and the date of when I had the expense. The reason I start with the dollar amount is because in 20 years, I'm going to be cashing out HSA money based on a lump sum amount. It's going to be easier for me at that time to find all of the receipts that add up to the amount that I'm withdrawing. For example, in, we'll say 25 years, if I want to withdraw $1,000 from my HSA, I'll go find multiple receipts that add up to $1,000, then consider those receipts as how I'm accounting for that amount. I'll then move the receipt copies to the paid out folder and be done with it. There is one more step just to make everything a lot easier. I also account for each expense in a spreadsheet that I created for myself, which I call HSA Spreadsheet Tracker. That way I can cross-reference the copy of a receipt that has the amount and the date on it to a line item in the spreadsheet. Right before or right after a copy receipt is uploaded to my Google Drive, I'll add the same info into the spreadsheet right here. As you can see, I have the date, type of service, the cost, company I paid for the service, whether or not it's HSA approved, confirmation that I uploaded the receipt, and whether or not I've paid myself out for that receipt. If you want, you can choose not to add the HSA approved column. I'm just a weirdo who also likes to track any medical related info in this spreadsheet beyond the HSA info. You should always account for all medical expenses, large or small, in your HSA spreadsheet tracker, no matter what. Now, there's 2 reasons for this. First, even the most random of medical expenses are actually HSA approved. Eye drops, cold medication, headache medication, contact lenses, and a lot more. The second reason to track everything related or potentially related to medical costs is because as time goes on, the list of HSA approved expenses will continue to grow. A quick pro tip that I have is that Amazon actually has a storefront dedicated to HSA approved items only. So if you use Amazon to purchase any of these sorts of things, then they make it easy for you to filter through what is actually accepted. Feel free to leave any questions or comments down below. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button before you go as well. Check out the description for a bunch of different ways to get some free stocks, open up a Lively account, and more resources on investing and financial independence. Watch this more in-depth HSA video to your left and next with a lot more tips on how to maximize your health savings account. I'll see you in the next one, friends. Done.